The epic fantasy The Last Kingdom traverses along ancient Britain. It takes you on an adventure filled with anger, love, war, and devastating moments that you're not always prepared for. In today's video, we'll be looking at some of the most heartbreaking moments in this show, starting with number 10, AETHELFLAED'S kiss. In Season 3, there's a surprise that leaves fans heartbroken. Even though you all see it coming, it does seem that it would happen earlier in the season. Uhtred, played by Alexander Draymond, and AETHELFLAED, played by Millie Brady, share a very special moment. She has strong feelings for him, but you don't see much come from him. In Season 1 and 2, you see AETHELFLAED fall for Eric, which makes this moment between her and Uhtred really unexpected. For years, they have known each other, becoming good friends. In previous seasons, things between them haven't worked out yet because of fundamental differences. Uhtred, however, has been protecting AETHELFLAED and her family since she was a little girl. In the books, these two are actually lovers, but not in the show. AETHELFLAED has a great storyline in Season 3. You can't help falling in love with her. She has a kind heart and cares for others. She's also a strong warrior and a great leader. But in her time, women aren't considered worthy of leading their tribes. So here is the amazing moment that gives you goosebumps. AETHELFLAED and Uhtred kiss for the very first time. But the most heartbreaking part is that he steps back from the kiss that she plants on his lips. Guess her breath is stinky. I'm not surprised, because in those days, people didn't exactly have proper toothpaste. Later on, she tells him how she feels about kissing him, to which he replies that he would enjoy it, but regret it afterwards. No, Uhtred, why? Is her breath foul again? Anyway, most fans are disappointed about this encounter. How about you? Next at number 9, BLOODHAIR gets poisoned. The one thing The Last Kingdom shows you all the time is death. You get to see your favorite characters die season after season. One such is Earl Sigurd, BLOODHAIR, a fierce warrior and not someone you would want to fight on any given day. In Season 3, he puts his faith in a witch called Skade. He thinks of her as his lover. Unluckily, she doesn't share the same feelings toward him. She is interested in the mighty Uhtred instead. She poisons BLOODHAIR. Simple as that. BLOODHAIR is all drugged up from the poison, which leaves him in a weakened state. Heston comes along, ending BLOODHAIR once and for all. He dies, leaving fans shocked. Fans think of this death as completely unfair and heartbreaking. Tell us how you feel about it down below in the comment section. Number 8. Uhtred narrowly escaping death. Uhtred is the main character and the one everyone loves the most. Nobody wants him to die. In Season 4, Episode 2, Uhtred is an outlaw. On his way to Bebbanburg, he cuts his arm, bleeding into the water. Fans are close to tears when Uhtred's arm is cut. In those days, antibiotics don't exist. You're bound to get an infection from any cut or stab. In most cases, infections lead to death. Obviously, his arm is infected, and you're expecting the worst to come. You get to see his hallucinations and his delirious moments. In these hallucinations that feel real, you get to see Uhtred again, a character who has died. You also get to see main events from Season 1. These moments are more than sad. No one saw this coming, which makes you believe that Uhtred is in his final moments before he dies. Luckily, Uhtred survives, thanks to Brita. It's still a heartstopper, because without Uhtred, your lives would be empty. Next, we have at number 7, Queen ISEULT'S death. In the climax of Season 1, the beautiful clairvoyant Queen ISEULT catches Uhtred's eye while he plunders through Cornwall. He falls for this pagan queen. ISEULT gives herself to him, promising to be with him till the end, but she sadly foresees her own death. Tragedy strikes as she's beheaded by the Viking warrior Skorpa of the White Horse. Her violent death isn't a surprise to fans, but you end up feeling depressed after this scene. Beheading anyone in the show is terrible, even when it's a bad guy. But hey, that's how I feel. How about you? Number 6. SIHTRIC'S betrayal. Betrayal and disloyalty are two reoccurring themes in The Last Kingdom. SIHTRIC is the illegitimate son of Kjartan. SIHTRIC Kjartansson, later known as SIHTRIC of Dunholm, is a main character in The Last Kingdom. He wants nothing to do with his father. Uhtred takes him under his wing. Uhtred expects SIHTRIC to have no loyalty to his father, and then he becomes a trusted ally of Uhtred. One of the most heartbreaking betrayals of all is when SIHTRIC betrays Uhtred. This really catches you off guard. We've been convinced that SIHTRIC is loyal to Uhtred from the beginning, but he has been double-crossing Heston's army all along. Fans have felt a tinge of doubt about him before, but this is really bad timing. SIHTRIC doesn't see things in the same way as Uhtred does regarding his curse. You must agree, he has a point with that. Anyone would get annoyed. Uhtred, however, isn't a fool and knows of SIHTRIC's full plan. It is still shocking how the plan plays out, and it's intense. It's horrible when your friend turns on you, isn't it? Now we're at number 5. Ragnar's family perishes. Ragnar's blind father, Ravin, is a good man who teaches and raises Uhtred. Ravin teaches him important lessons about being a man and family values. Kjartan and Ragnar's family don't see eye to eye, so Kjartan and his son Sven swoop in on the night of Uhtred's sister THYRA'S wedding. These enemies of Uhtred are out to kill him. They are allies of Alfric of Bebbanburg, who is Uhtred's uncle. castle. During this horrible attack, Ragnar's house is set on fire, with most of the family trapped inside. Viewers are shocked and fear for all the characters in danger. Ragnar's father and his wife burn to death. Ragnar comes out fighting with every breath while he's on fire. He swings his sword with all his force. Uhtred watches it all. It's a painful scene to watch. Ragnar dies and Uhtred can do absolutely nothing about it. At this point, Uhtred has no idea that Thyra is still alive and held captive. This doesn't change the fact that he has just lost the people closest to him. Next at number 4, Halig meets his end. What is it with TV shows that kill off innocent characters that don't deserve it? Is it to stir it up or what? Halig is a perfect example of this. Halig is a former ally of Uhtred and a member of his retinue. He's an honorable Saxon man. Sold into slavery after King Uthred's betrayal, Halig is held as a prisoner on a ship and subjected to horrible torture. Halig is made an example of when someone tries to escape. He's punished in the most barbaric way possible. He gets strapped to the front of a boat. Then he is very slowly drowned as the boat sails across the seas and waves crash against the boat. The worst of it all is that Uhtred and the other slaves are rowing the boat, hearing Halig's cries. Pretty harsh, don't you think? Halig really doesn't deserve to die like this. I wouldn't like to die like that. Would you? Now we're at number 3, ALDHELM'S betrayal. Aethelred is a main character, so there's a lot on his shoulders. The Last Kingdom Season 2 shows ALDHELM standing by Aethelred's side. These two are inseparable. To our surprise, ALDHELM turns on his king, questioning him, which leaves fans gobsmacked. Why does he betray him? It isn't just to save himself and his daughter. So what is it? ALDHELM continually questions the king and goes against every decision he makes. ALDHELM has it coming, ending up stabbed in his stomach. This really is heartbreaking and a questionable thing in the show. What do you guys think? Number 2, THYRA'S death. Although her death is predictable, it's still hard to stomach. It is a terrible moment when Beocca fully joins Uhtred's side. She stands up against the discontent for the Danes, and she's a sweet girl with a heart of gold. She doesn't like saying mean things about anyone. She genuinely means well, except to those who want to harm her. Anyone would do that, wouldn't they? Thyra is smart. She has a spot to hide under the floorboards, but she can't escape. The way she dies is heart-wrenching. Beocca points out that Thyra's family has died by fire. The same befalls Thyra, and it makes sense, doesn't it? It's still awful in every way possible, isn't it? Thyra doesn't want to suffer, so she ends her life by stabbing herself. In my opinion, that's true bravery. Number 1, Gisela dies. Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. The most heartbreaking moment of all is when Gisela dies. Okay, so her death is no surprise. Uhtred's curse is still intact, which means that any offspring of his will die. Skade has made sure of this. Her curse carries on, destroying anyone close to Uhtred. What a hateful thing to do, don't you think? Gisela is Uhtred's beloved wife. Unfortunately, she is the first person to die because of the curse. Look, childhood back in the day isn't a pretty picture. Millions of women have lost their lives giving life. Gisela is one of those unfortunate souls. But the saddest part of all is that the baby dies as well. There's nothing worse than that, is there? This is one of the worst things that has happened to Uhtred, but he hasn't taken kindly to his other children dying. But there's something about an innocent baby dying that truly breaks a person's heart. Gisela's body gets burnt with the help of Hild digging up consecrated ground. Don't know about you, but it leaves tears in my eyes. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below in the comment section.